In the bustling streets of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, there lived a beggar named Chukwu. Chukwu was a familiar sight in the city, with his tattered clothes and worn out shoes. He would sit on the sidewalk, his eyes cast downward, as he begged for alms from passers by. But what people didn't know was that Chukwu was a well and complete but pretended to blind. He had a dark secret, one that he kept hidden from the world. Chukwu was using the money he collected from begging to fund his ritual sacrifices. Chukwu had been introduced to the world of ritualism by his friend named Akin, who had promised him wealth and power. But as Chukwu delved deeper into the world of ritualism, he was given this simple task to sacrifice people's money he collected from begging. So he would disguise himself as a poor, tattered and wrecked beggar and march to a very busy road where he can easily get many help from people passing by. After getting those money from people, he then closed for the day and then appeared to his occultic world to sacrifice those money, thereby causing poverty, sickness, accident and even death on his victims. As time went on, some people began to secretly caught Chukwu living a life that was far beyond his means. He would wear expensive clothes and jewelry, and he would eat at fancy restaurants. People began to wonder where Chukwu was getting his money from. A great misfortune befell on Chukwu's victims when he was given another task by his superior to sacrifice 50 families. Chukwu asked how he would achieve this. Ha 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 ha. The Grand Master laughed. Anyone who dashed you money tomorrow will die after 3 days, he said as he chuckled and laughed hard as other members joined him. The following day, Chukwu set out for his daily ritual. People started dashing him money. He appreciated and prayed for them. God bless you, ma. God bless you, sir. Today will favor you. You will live long to see your children, he said, as he rained his fake prayer on his victims. 3 days after, there was a great weeping and shock in the neighborhood when many families began to mourn the death of their loved ones. People began to wonder with questions filled their minds. Nobody knew the cause of such calamity and nobody ever suspected Chukwu as he looked so innocent and poor. But Chukwu's luck was about to run out. One day, a young woman named Neoma decided to follow Chukwu and see where he was getting his money from. She had always been suspicious of Chukwu's activities, and she was determined to get to the bottom of things. Neoma followed Chukwu to an abandoned building on the outskirts of town. She watched in horror as Chukwu performed a ritual sacrifice, using the money he had collected from begging to appease the gods. Neoma was shocked and outraged by what she had seen. She knew that she had to report Chukwu to the authorities, but she was also afraid of what might happen to her. As she watched Chukwu finish his ritual, Neoma knew that she had to act fast. Arrived at the abandoned building just as Chukwu was finishing up his ritual. They arrested him and took him into custody for further investigation. As the news of Chukwu's arrest spread, the community was shocked and outraged. People couldn't believe that the beggar they had been giving money to was using it for ritual purposes, his ritual sacrifices. Some people who had given money to Chukwu began to recall how their lives changed to bad after giving money to Chukwu. While in police custody, after much beating, Chukwu confessed of being behind of several deaths in the community. People became more amazed and shocked because they couldn't believe that Chukwu, who looked so innocent and poor, was a ritualist. Some people vowed not to give money to strangers or beggars, while others made a decision that they will pray before they offer any help to any stranger again. Chukwu was sentenced to life in prison for his crimes. As he sat in his cell, he knew that he had made a terrible mistake. He had let his desire for wealth and power consume him, and he had lost everything. The story of Chukwu served as a warning to the community about the dangers of ritualism and the importance of being mindful of where their money was going. It also highlighted the need for people to be aware of their surroundings and to report any suspicious activity to the authorities. As for Neoma, She was hailed as a hero for her bravery in exposing Chukwu's crimes. She had risked her own life to bring Chukwu to justice, and she had saved countless lives by doing so. The story of Chukwu and Neoma would be remembered for years to come, a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and the importance of standing up for what is right.